Beneath the silence, a truth lives within. Through every scar, through every season, a new beginning begins. We carried worlds.
Welcome to the Under Kingdom series by Crowncast. I'm First Lady Caitlin Ashley Lord Swinton, and today we open an important conversation: the invisible load, women, wellness, and emotional labor. So many women carry responsibilities that are rarely seen: the planning, caregiving, emotional support, expectations, sacrifices, and constant mental balancing that often happen quietly behind the scenes. Today, I'm honored to be joined by my incredible co-host, Dr. Aninda Sidhana, along with an extraordinary group of women whose professional expertise, lived experiences, advocacy, and personal journeys will bring depth and honesty to this conversation. Joining us are Prerna Vaswani, founder and international podcast host of Prerna Spreading Inspiration. I also have Rezna Khatun, who is an author, public speaker, and domestic abuse violence survivor advocate. I also have Jazz, who is a beauty and wellness professional, massage therapist, professional parent coach, and women and youth advocate. And lastly, Dr. Mina Bobdey, consultant psychiatrist and mental health advisor. We were also looking forward to being joined today by Yukta, who is former Miss World and an advocate, but unfortunately, due to important matters requiring her attention, she is unable to join us for today's conversation. We completely understand and send her our very best. We are looking forward to welcoming her and hearing her valuable insight and perspective on the invisible load in the future. In this episode, we are creating space for an honest conversation about what this invisible load does to women emotionally, mentally, physically, and relationally, and how we begin recognizing when we are carrying too much. We will also explore healing boundaries, support, self-worth, resilience, and what it truly means for women to reclaim space for themselves while navigating the many roles they carry. This is a space for real stories, real women, and real impact. Welcome to the Inner Kingdom, where we believe every woman deserves to be seen, be heard, and be whole. Ladies, again, thank you so much for joining us on this very important conversation. Rezna, Prerna, Jazz, Dr. Mina, and of course, the lovely Dr. Aninda Sidhana. How is everyone doing today?
It's always a pleasure to meet you, First Lady Swinton. And today, of course, everyone is here. It's wonderful. And I have written few quotes describing everybody as Prerna means inspiration. So I would just like to say a few words about today's episode. So basically, it's invisible load. It is like everybody carries it. Every woman has a story, and leadership is not loud. It is often the quiet strength that we all carry inside. And a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until you pour hot water on it. So it is like every woman has a strength inside and the resilience built inside. So in this episode, we are going to explore the invisible architecture of the leadership, burnout, caregiving burnout, and even a storyteller and the inspirer can also get burned out. So basically, about the first lady Swinton, I would like to say that we both steady the room because courage is our compass and the world feels it. So we all are together and about the Prerna, she reminds us that stories don't just inspire change, they ignite the change. So I have been a guest on her podcast and it is a really wonderful and it actually ignites the change. But sometimes storyteller also needs a rest and someone to listen to her. So we welcome you, Prerna. And Rezna Khatun, you are a matriarch and you have been carrying the generational strength and you are one of the always the bravest and your creativity is wonderful. The books have been really wonderful, inspiring the change. And Jazz, you are a caregiver. You turn the care into the bravest form of leadership. And Dr. Mina, you are the psychiatrist who listens to the mind, echoes the world, which is often silenced and quiet, but still carrying all the load and showing the light to everybody. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you so
so
much.
Dr.
Yeah,
Aninda.
that's beautiful.
That's very touching. So thank you for that. And thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for
Yes,
having
that's really wonderful.
It is deeply an honor to have all of you ladies. Now, when we're recognizing the invisible, I do have to ask because everyone has their different perspective of what they see as recognizing the invisible load. So we'll start one by one. So I will begin. with Rezna. How would you recognize the invisible load in your eyes?
Are you talking from the perspective of being in an abusive relationship?
You can take it from whichever perspective that you want. I know for you, you were in an
Yeah.
abusive relationship. So if you,
So I would say for me, being in a very extreme domestic abusive relationship, it wasn't just that, it was also my childhood. I was invisible as a child. I was never acknowledged. I was never accepted by my parents. So even through my adulthood, I was invisible. I didn't have a voice. I was suppressed by culture, by religion. We were taught not to show emotion. We were taught not to show we're upset. We had to please the elders. I was taught from a very young age that when you get married, you have to please your husband. Basically, I was brought up as a blank canvas. So everything was suppressed within my mind, my body, physically, emotionally, mentally. And even in the community, we get taught the same thing. You don't show emotion, you don't say anything, you just listen, you be the good woman, the good girl. And basically, you're prepared to be somebody's wife and be the best wife and not question anything. And that just built up. And I became physically ill. I had an autoimmune disease. I had two Bell's palsy attacks on my face. I lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I lost my character. I lost my spirit. I lost my belief. My brain was scrambled. I actually, at the age of 43, found I don't know who I am.
now, how did you break free of that?
It was because what happened with me, because I went through it as a child, I grew up in a very violent household. So when I met my partner, I was 17. For me, it was normal. It's only when I came across three women in my life and they said to me, do you know this is not normal? And just the light bulb came in my head. Even though so many people said this to me, and I was a community advocate, I used to go to all my police community meeting, and I still never spoke about anything. But when these three women said to me, you do know this is not normal, and the light bulb just flinched in my brain, and I became the master of studying youth. I went on YouTube, on social media, and I was looking at what is domestic abuse, what is controlling behavior, what is emotional, mental abuse, what does gaslighting even mean? What is spiritual abuse? How does spiritual abuse happen? And everything just came together, and I was like, wow, I'm in this. What am I going to do now? But it actually took me 5 years to process where I am, what I'm going to, because by then I was already in it for 20 years. So it was a big journey for me to even think I'm going to walk out or I'm going to change my life. And I was still in that relationship for 5 years, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, because we had kids together, we had a house together, and it's all I knew from the age of 17. And I found myself at the age of, I think, 38, like, what is this? So it was really, it's when the light bulb came on, I knew I had to change. And in time, I was doing research, I was making plans silently in my head to make the move to leave. And it was one of the hardest decisions, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life.
That it sounds huge. I don't want to say weight lifted off your shoulders because you had to make very drastic.
Yeah.
I totally resonate with you, as I have been a psychiatrist and brought up in the family of psychiatrists, but still went through two marriages of gender-based violence. And literally, the most difficult decision is when to leave.
Yes.
Because textbooks cannot teach you relationships, and as women, we all are taught to carry on the relationship and be a trophy wife or be perfect wife, a perfect daughter, and that burden. So today, just now, few minutes back only, I wrote the Happy Independence Day to everybody to build to free ourselves from the cages the society has built around us. To be the perfect wife, to the perfect daughter, or a man cannot cry. Everybody has to break down those cages because we don't know who built them. And always I say that the only question that you must never ask a survivor is, why didn't you leave early?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
this part is easier and is not that difficult. Even later on, grief is not that difficult. But the most difficult part is when to leave, because that time abuser can become life threatening.
Yeah.
He can even kill you if they come to know, and you have to definitely plan silently. And another thing, you need lot of courage because many families are also not supportive.
No.
Nobody teaches us how to handle divorce. We are only taught about how to handle marriage.
Yeah.
So many of them are like when children are there. So society only does not allow that. For society also, it's like a divorce. I always say a divorced daughter is much better than a dead daughter, but it's very difficult. Even educated people don't understand. So
Yeah.
I totally empathize with you and really, I everybody. Nobody has questioned me till now, like why didn't you leave? Because my dad has been very like he had taken the decision the minute I told him. But I tell everybody that never ask it because you are never not in her shoes.
Yeah. I mean, I got victim shamed so much because everybody kept saying, you must really like being in an abusive relationship. Why didn't, is this really true? So this is why I decided to write the book, because when I left, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I couldn't speak. I couldn't hold a sentence together. I was extremely ill. I had an autoimmune disease. So I thought, how am I going to explain? Because everyone kept saying, oh, why are you not talking? What is going on with you? Is this real? How can this be real? This is not real. So I thought, let me put it to pen and paper. I will be healing myself because I'll be putting it out there and processing it. And maybe somebody will read it and think, you know what, this is happening to me and I need to do something about it. Because a lot of times people don't understand how abuse works. It's very easy for them to judge us and say, oh, you're this and you're that, and you must have enjoyed it. And why didn't you do something? Why are you talking about now? Why didn't you talk about it then? My brain wasn't ready to talk about it. My body wasn't ready to talk about it. I haven't processed it to talk about it. So I thought, let me put it in a book. At least then I can explain it and maybe somebody will read it and think, oh, wow, this is how it happens. Because psychologically, they have more power, abuser has more power than a gun to your head. So to explain to somebody about the psychological terror, it's really, really hard. And we're lost for words. Our brain is scrambled. I don't even know what I'm saying half of the time. How am I going to explain to you, this is what happened to me, this is how I'm feeling? It just didn't work for me that time.
Because your body keeps the score
Yeah.
about the trauma. So
Yeah.
of course, and definitely, as you said, that you use writing as a just mechanism to heal yourself. So
Yeah.
I totally believe in the healing power of pen. That
Yeah.
when you write down, when your heart feels heavy, you write down the words, and your burden comes down, and even that story inspires the other person. And the most grateful you feel when one person tells that your story and your book actually saved my life.
Yes, honestly.
The
And do you know
blessing.
what happened? When you leave, we think, wow, I'm left and that's it. But it's not. When the healing journey happens, that's one of the hardest journey I had, because I was like, why did it happen? How did it happen? What's wrong with me? Why did I accept this? And that journey wakes up parts of you that are so painful that you actually don't want to face it, but you really have to sit with yourself to go through the process, go through the tears, go through the pain, go through accepting, hey, a lot of things I did wrong as well, you know, but I want to fix myself. I want to be a better person for myself. I want to grow as a person. I want to evolve. And that is a very, very difficult journey, the healing journey.
So actually, healing is basically, first of all, it is like it is going to be part of your life. And
Yes.
at times it comes, the navigating grief of the person who is still breathing is very difficult. Nobody talks about because it is about your shattered dreams and the future, what you had thought.
And
And
it wasn't
everybody,
real.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't real because, of course, they sell the nightmare, they sell the dream and they give you the nightmare.
Yeah.
So, and invisible wounds and the emotional abuse are much more, they kill your soul and self esteem. That's why you can't leave. And people don't understand. It's not about the love, it's the trauma bonding. And I
The
think
trauma.
Dr. Meena can definitely say something about it and explain more.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Dr. Meena can explain a bit
Oh,
more.
Fine. Sorry. I didn't understand the question as well. So,
Yeah, basically about the trauma bonding and
trauma bonding.
why
Yeah.
people
course,
don't use.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I am a psychiatrist and I work, as you know, with mental health diseases and the trauma. And what you're describing has been like a chronic ongoing trauma.
Yeah.
So if I would say if you take a very hard piece of wood and if you hit it once, it's not going to break. But if you keep on hitting it again and again and again and again, it will break. There will be a breaking point. So all of you will have a breaking point. And accumulated trauma will have so many consequences. And you've described few of them already. mental health consequences and physical health consequences. And mental health and physical health goes hand in hand. And that ongoing trauma has caused those. But what I like beautiful about your journey is one fine day when you heard it, you took the action. That courage in you was there, which made you take the action. And that action, we can see the result of the action now. And you put the pen on the paper and you wrote about this experience to share with the world, so a lot of people can get inspiration from it. And that's what is keeping you going. So what you've done is you had a trauma, you've dealt with it. And as Dr. Ananda says, it's a lifelong journey of healing.
Yes,
But
yes.
those steps have been so courageous steps, and many more people will get help from that. And
Thank
as we described, all of us, even I'm a psychiatrist, I'm woman first, and I'm a woman of Indian origin, coming from a very traditional family. And I'm the first woman who's got married into intercaste, interreligion, who's left India, who's taken so much of courageous steps. So I've had so many battles, but we all are here fighters and we all are here winners.
Yes,
So
100%.
absolutely, and your story is going to inspire thousands of people, which you will not even come to know whom it is inspiring. So it's really good that you have written a book and it spreads knowledge. And because nobody is even like I had done the multicentric studies and even courses in domestic violence, but still I could not because textbooks don't teach and life teaches you. And healing, I believe, it is a part of our life, and it comes and goes at times. Times will come when we break down, but it doesn't mean that we have to go back.
Yes, yes.
That itself nutshells it, like it's ongoingly. Imagine remaining in that anxiety, stress,
Yeah,
whether you're going to be alive or not next
yeah,
minute for years.
yeah. I mean, I
It's up
still
to you
get,
for
Understand.
yeah, even though it's been like coming on to 10 years, I still get triggers, but I've learned how to deal with the triggers. Because when I get triggers, I don't want to take it out on other people, friends and family. If I'm in an environment where I get triggered, I don't want to leave the group. I would say to myself, look, it's happened. When I go home, I'm going to sit with myself and I'm going to process it. But for the time being, I'm going to enjoy my friends and family. I'm not going to let the triggers control me. I'm not going to let the triggers run my life because I'm in charge of my life now. So it's been a very long journey and it's still going on, but I've learned to deal with the triggers.
in psychological terminology, we call it like a flashbacks. We call it like
Yeah.
those things which will keep coming, those traumatic experience will keep coming, and you found a tool to fight it.
Yeah. I mean, I still have like if I'm somewhere with a group of friends and especially with men, if a male person said, oh, can I buy you a drink? I'd be like, what? What do you want to buy me a drink for? What do you want from me? And I don't want your drink. I'm an independent woman. I can buy my own drink. Go away. But then I realize it's a trigger. He's just offering a drink. It doesn't mean he wants to hurt me or he's not controlling me. You know, Suddenly I'll think, oh, he's trying to control me, control the situation. Why does he want to buy me a drink? I get paranoid and overthink. But then once I calm down, I'm like, oh, it's just a friendly gesture, nothing to it.
It- and realizing that it's a friendly gesture and nothing to it, and moving on also
Yeah,
takes a lot of courage, which you're doing
yeah,
it. You keep
yeah,
on working at it so you don't lose out on the beautiful moments of life.
that's true. Yeah, every day I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm working on it.
Clear example of it. Beautifully done.
It is. It really, truly is beautifully done. Jazz, how do you interpret based on your life recognizing the invisible load, based on what you've been through?
I have actually hidden my whole emotion around my child because my child was getting abused at the same time while I was getting abused. So when they turn around and say that the child gets affected more in a relationship, I would say I got affected more because I hid my emotions. I put myself invisible completely, and I had to be a mum and a dad for my child to protect her from a father who was already emotionally, physically draining her and calling her all those names underneath the sun. And obviously, I had to be her guidance. I had to be her protector. And I had to forget my bruises, my marks, everything behind and be a protector for my child. So I know there's loads of Indian women on this platform. So basically, there is a saying where when there's a Lord Shiva who protected his children and his wife from a warrior or should I say from a demon, and he had to become a warrior. So I was that warrior who protected my child from a demon. So where I forgot my bruises, I forgot my burns, I forgot my marks, I forgot everything. So that's why my visible emotions didn't really account. And like how Rezna said, you know, people turn around and say, why didn't you leave before? I had social services saying that to me, that why didn't you leave before? I had women antagonizing me, meaning from professional background, like teachers from her school. They were literally like putting me down. I had professionals like social workers, and we call social workers who are supposed to be part of your team. They were literally team dad, who was a demon, who hit both of me and my child, but they didn't see that. But they were literally being on his favor. The police was on his favor. So where I had to, where, like I said, where I hid my emotions, then I literally tried to make my child stronger, but day by day, she gets triggered, like how Resna says, she gets triggered by big men. And, she gets triggered by someone with a knife crime, with a gun, with things like that. She would just come. I mean, she's 12 years old now. She's still come up behind me and she'd come and cuddle me. And she's like, what's this person going to do? So then I have to be her protector and say, look, he's not going to harm you. He's probably going to do something for someone else. It's not for you. So even I've had all these professionals, including the police, I don't believe them anymore. I don't believe in advocates anymore. I don't believe in judges anymore, because the experience I have had professionally, it's literally triggered me so badly where I had to be a strong person for my child. So where they turn around and say that a child gets involved in both of your domestic violence, I will say there was 3 people who got infected. So it was myself, my inner self, so that's 2, and my child who got affected. So when they turn around and say to people, that, especially to parents, that, just remember there's a child involved. Yeah, there is a child involved. We know that. We know they get triggered, but not triggered how my child got triggered in this, because she got triggered so badly where she was being told, it's disappointing you're a girl. We wanted a boy. It's disappointed that, your mum couldn't give us a son, so that's why we're leaving her. It's a shame that your mum couldn't give us a male in our family to carry out the name. But now she's the same generation, she's the same girl who her grandparents are calling her and saying, oh, how are you doing? Her dad's calling her and how are you doing? And I'm trying to tell her that whatever's happened in the past, I know we can't move away from it. It triggers us. But just think of it this way. In a very, very young age, you have seen a demon who has given you a big perspective in life, what men can be like. There are good men out there, like my dad, like my brother, who has protected you. And they've shown you encouragement. They've shown you new life. They've shown you what men are meant to be men, where men do not hit women. Men can have emotions. Men can cry. So they have shown you that. So just remember, there is a beautiful life out there. So I've tried to show my child that, yeah, I'm a woman of today, but we can't show our emotions to people who are professionals, because that's what professionals have literally done to us. They've damaged us. Let's put it that way. We can't trust the teachers anymore because we don't know what perspectives they've got of me and my child. So yeah, I would say I have literally put my emotions away for a very, very long time, and where I wanted to become a parent coach for those parents out there who have gone for mental health issues, who are suffering in silence. And so I wanted to be advocate for them. And on top of that, when we as women, when we have aching bones and pains and things like that, and we don't know who to talk to, so that's why I wanted to do and show people that, look, you can come to me, you can come for, half the price. I won't charge you what people charge out there. You can come and talk to me, and that's what I'm here for. And you can get a massage done out to end of it, because we do need something to be self-love. Like we say, self-love, self-care, self-importance is the main key for all of us. And I started it off with my child, and my child was the one who said, Mummy, you know what? You are a professional massage therapist. Why don't you why don't you actually do this as professionally? So, and that's why I started as professionally, because of my child, and we've done it together, and we do meditation on YouTube for young children as well. So we take like 5-10 minutes and then share the videos with people who do suffer with anxiety, autism, ADHD for young children as well, because this is why children do suffer, because they don't feel, they think, oh yeah, like our Africans and our, Asian background, like hitting a child will discipline a child, but they don't know what's behind it and what has caused it for them to have that anxiety, and they will lose that attention or anything. So that's what I wanted to do and bring it out to the world, and especially around East London, and obviously Rezna knows about it as well, to share it with people and experience it with everybody. So
I love that you took your experience and where pretty much the justice system failed you and turned it into something positive as I don't want to see others go through this.
yeah.
That's
And justice is a dream, I guess, in India especially. I don't know about other countries.
Yes, totally agree.
In India, it's a dream. It's just money and the politics win.
Sorry to hear about the system failing you. Really sorry to hear that. I also want to kind of give a perspective on that. Lot of system is made up of us, and lot of us weren't aware of it, how to deal with domestic violence, how to deal with these things.
Yeah,
And people, we don't speak about it. So now, like, this podcast is one example, and we are
Yeah.
more talking about it. People are sharing their experience, people are becoming more aware of it, and the help is improving. And teachers, school teachers, they're recognizing signs of it. So
yeah.
things are definitely improving it. But I'm really sorry to hear that you were failed by the system. But yeah, I'm part of the system, so not defending it, but I'm saying that definitely things are getting more. So we all have to do safeguarding children, safeguarding adult trainings, and we all have to. Every professional has to do that training where we learn the signs of early violence. We learn what's happening, and we are regularly have to update ourselves. But yeah, and once again, my sincere apology that you failed, but you have turned it down and you have kind of made it like a point where people can come and talk to you amazingly. And I like the concept. After they talk to you, you also give them a tender massage, which is like the human beings really miss is a human touch.
It's
And that's
true.
a beautiful way of doing it. So
She
well
was
done.
laughing for massage. So, ma'am, just one correction I would like to make that she didn't fail, system failed.
Yeah.
No, I meant the system failed her. That's what I'm telling her. So don't
System
do that.
failed, but yeah, but
System
system is
failed.
only the victim. Yeah. I always say it's the system which is the victim, not her. And it's the system which is the failure, not us.
No, not you. Of course. Thank you for that. What I meant was the systems failures were, but definitely systems are improving. Like if you look
It
at
is
the health
improved. It is improving.
Far-fetched dream, but yeah.
no, definitely.
I am also part of the system, but still I know that reality is because I've been through both the things. Yeah.
and realities are much far from the ideal. Really agree with you on that.
Yeah, and because judiciaries don't have empathy. I have seen that because and right now we have started in Indian Psychiatric Society. Dr. Amrit Joshi, Swinton knows, he has started a courageous compassion campaign, and basically for the league officials of Odisha, judiciaries, officials, lawyers, and all are trained about empathy and how to
Yes.
deal.
Yeah. I think
So
even the police system has gone better now than 10
and
years ago.
Rajasthan has started that. So I have tried to do the MOU with them because I always say the real abuse began in the courtroom, not before that.
Yes.
Sorry to hear
And,
that.
and
No,
the
no,
reason,
please don't be sorry.
yeah, no, the reason I'm agreeing with Dr. Ananda is because when I was actually in the courtroom with my ex-partner and we was fighting for custody, the judge, who was a female, who turned around and said, in 2024, we could take your child away and she can go into foster care. So I was this close losing my child. I had to turn so many tables around because basically the father was playing the victim card. So he was saying, she doesn't send me updated pictures. She doesn't send me update of what she does. She doesn't send me update of this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I sent him everything, A to Z. And then when it came to the time for him to see his child, he's the one who betrayed the system because he did not turn up. I turned up to the contact centers. I made my child available. Even my child was making a big hoo-ha fuss. No, mummy, I don't want to see him. He's a monster. He's this. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. But there is a system, there's a protocol I have to follow. If me and you do it together, and I go, you believe in my God? Yes. And she went, yes. I go, I believe in Mahadev. Yes. And she went, yes. I go, if we do this together, we will be the biggest people. He'd be the biggest, lowest person. He'd be the failure. We won't be the failures. So each time we went, he failed. He didn't turn up. So that way, the system did help me because they wrote it down that father did not turn up. Mum and the daughter was there. He did not turn up. Then it came to unexpectedly unsupported. It came to, meeting in the shopping center. Again, I took pictures where we were and everything. He sent me a text message. I'm so sorry, I can't turn up. Went back. The judge turned around and said, you have won the full custody of your child. There's no more sharing because because the father has failed and he is not applying to any of the court order. So therefore, there's no more court order. There's no more social services. There's no more of, we're not going to get involved because mum, you know what's right for your child. You're safeguarding her. You're doing everything right. So therefore, we are 100% on your side. And if you need us, you know where we are. So therefore, I would say the system was trying to play with me, but because I turned the tables around, I believed in Mahadev and honestly, he showed me.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
Warren,
Well
really
it's
done,
sad
happy
that
to
Aninda.
more
Well
power to
done.
you, soul sister.
it's sad that you had to go through all those hoops when you were speaking the truth from the beginning. And the judge should have sat there and listened to the child. If the child is verbally stating, I don't want to be around him or I don't want to be around her, I don't feel comfortable, that's when the judge should sit back and go, okay, this is coming out of a kid's mouth.
Yeah.
This isn't coming from the parent now, for whatever issues they're having. This is coming from the child. There is a reason. So, you know what? We need to, as a system, we need to take a step back and do
Mm.
our investigation rather than making the parent jump through these hoops. That's where the system failed. The
Yeah.
system should have listened to the kid and said, there's obviously something is going on.
Going on,
Rather
yeah.
than making this child build on to the trauma that they're already going through, let's do our part. Let's help out. So I'm sorry you had to go through that. I really am. But that's also a good reason why most nowadays they tell people have evidence, take pictures, take
Yeah.
screenshots, keep receipts for this reason.
Yeah. And that's what I
That,
did. And
yeah.
that's what I did. And even when there was a police phone call, like, because he's turned up to the house, and luckily I've got a doorbell and I've got a camera and everything out there. He's turned up to the doorstep like 4 o'clock in the morning, screenshotted that, sent it to the court. I didn't send it to the social worker or anyone. I sent it straight to the judge because I knew how the judge turned around and she's like, no, I'm helping mum now. I'm not helping you anymore because you have turned down the system so much. I tried to help you, but you didn't try to help the system.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm helping mum now. But I'm so glad, it was not even that long ago because it was in 2024, and even from 2024, from 25, 26, it still feels very, very fresh that he's still like breathing down on our necks. And if we do go to Stratford Westfield, we feel like he's around here.
Yeah.
Let's quickly go early and get
Yes.
out there really early, and we are not around there because it just feels so crammed and you just don't know where he's going to pop out from. And I know that I could be strong, but I know because she's still a child, she's still my baby, she's still going to be like, oh my God, what's he doing here? Get him away from me. I don't want him here. And she has made that very, very clear that she does not want nothing. It's sad, but it's a truth that she does not want her dad to be around her at all.
I can say that there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
We have to we have to give children their space and give them that time for them to want to make the amends and rebuild. And for right now, she doesn't want to rebuild.
Yeah, she's not ready.
No. And I haven't forced it on her either. And I'm like, okay, whenever you're ready, you take your time. And I'm here. And anything happens in school, she comes straight away and she's like, oh, mum, blah, 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 this happened, this happened, this happened. So she doesn't like I said, because we've been turned down from the system so much, and from protocols, from social services, from teachers, she feels so scared, so that she feels more reliant to myself or to my brother. So she's very close to my brother. And if there's something my brother has heard, and then he calls me and he's like, did you know she's done, this has happened? And I'm like, okay, I'll read into it. I'll look into it. Don't worry. I'll go, thank you for telling me. Then in my own way, I will not literally talk to her, but not straight away, because I know as we parents, we like, oh, what had just happened? But I think with this parenting training and with this course, it literally makes you mindful. Then I have to put that parent coach hat on, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to deal with this? So let's deal with it this way. And then she will forget that I'm her mum, and then she'll just talk to me as I'm one of the counseling people, and then she'll just go on.
I love that. Prerna, I would love to hear your input on this. You've been sitting there listening. I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for giving this opportunity and wonderful space by you and Dr. Aninda sister. And yes, there was a time that it was a challenging phase for me also. As a girl, I would say I faced so many societal pressures, expectations, and there were situations, and I was questioning myself deeply ki, why I am facing this and why I'm going through all this. Because at that time, no one was there to support me. And but yes, I would say that God had different plans for me. But when I was facing that situation, I was body shaming was also there from some of the relatives, and there was so many of the societal pressures, and so many things were going simultaneously. And I was in the corporate world. I had changed my job, and but still there was so much pressure going on from the parent side or society side. But yes, then the day came that some of the bosses, I was not performing up to their expectations. So he told me that I don't understand why I'm giving you this salary. So that was my turning point. And so then I decided that yes, I should leave that job and I should go ahead. But yes, there was something beside me that yes, I should do something to inspire others because my name was Prerna. So I was loving to inspire others, but I was not getting how do I inspire others. So yes, those challenges put me down. I was too much setback. I was about, I can say ki, why should I live? I was about someday I was about at the suicide point also, I can say. But then I can say that some God sent some angels in my life and they made me understand, yes, your life is more precious than others. Why you are losing your life, why you want to lose your life because of others. So then I heard some motivational videos. One of the friends shared me some motivational videos, but I was not feeling well. But yes, then I decided, I changed my mindset. Yes, why I die? For others, because of that person, because of those persons, why should I die? Instead, I should be a person whom I can inspire others. So yes, after fighting so many challenges, so many, because in India, you know that at some particular age, you have to marry. Otherwise, you are being told ki, yes, ki, why you're not marrying and all. So many things were going on. I fought those challenges, and yes, with those challenges, God had different plans, and I was being crowned and awarded as Inspiring Gem of India by Dr. Shivangi Malatia. She was Mrs. India. So yes, after that, this was a seed for me. Yes, I should make some platform for others, and I made that key. No, after why me, I was yes, it's me, and I have fought. And now some of the people told me that I'm a lioness, I'm a sherni. Now people call me like that. Yes, you have done it.
Yeah, good. Well done.
Very well.
I can't
Absolutely.
get
And
tell those.
I would just like to add that hers is the only podcast that she brings little children also. That is one thing I really love about that. And I told her to bring my niece, that is, I always call my niece as a daughter from another mother, from the podcast. She has written a book, The Whispers Within. She is a bigger mental like advocate, LGBT advocate than me. And she surpasses me in all the things. She's 13-year-old.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
really nice what you said about the angels because we always talk about I always talk about angels and they just come in different forms. They don't come in wings flying
Yes.
down. They could come as somebody you're sitting on a bench and having a conversation. They
Something
will
the
say
form of
something.
friends.
Yeah. Or you could be listening to somebody or just having a conversation anywhere. They come in forms of friends and family talking through people, and it's just amazing how you could have a conversation and something will just light up in you and you think, wow, that just made so much sense. But that could be, I would say, like an angel whispering some information that you needed to hear that time for you to wake up and sort things out in life.
Yes.
And God gives strongest battles to the bravest soldiers.
Very
Exactly.
true.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Yes, very true.
Dr. Mina,
So
I'd
yes,
love to get your thoughts. I know
I,
you've been sharing a lot when others are speaking, but I would love to get your input on, recognizing the invisible load and how you deal with things.
So I just wanted to share. So I wanted to share something about me first, and that will kind of give you the idea that even though you can be highest point in your professionalism, in your professional life, but there's a journey behind, and there's a hard journey behind so many women, including our ex Prime Minister of India. We all know that. I was born in a very traditional Jain family, and I grew up on a chawl system. So chawl system is like multiple small one room houses, and you share a common toilet. That's called chawl in India. So I was raised in a chawl system in Mumbai, and my father used to go away for a long time, 6 months a year, for work, and 6 months a year it would be me, my mom, and my elder brother who would be alone. And I was surrounded in the family by very strong women, and in the chawl as well. But in that chawl, mom being alone was abused, and I'm sad to say that, but there wasn't anybody to protect. My brother also was just 2 years older to me, so we were kind of left alone, and that gave me the bravery to fight. I was very brilliant in studies, and then have always been a fighter and always wanted women to be getting more than the man. But Indian system, it's very very sad system, as you've just said, and I do believe it's improving, but you just said 2 years ago also the system didn't have so much.
For me, I got divorced in 2025.
So you can imagine how, like, I'm still naive and I still believe that it's improving. But
Yeah.
yeah. And I got into medical school, was brilliant, and got into studying psychiatry and met my husband. My husband is a Vipassana teacher. We've been married for 33 years. It's a beautiful
Wow.
marriage. And
Yeah, wow.
gradually we learned we both were on the journey of improving ourselves and improving our lives. But I have to say, in that marriage also, you just take on the load. You just take on organizing your home, organizing your social life, organizing your finance, and so much you take on. Being a strong woman, even nobody asks you, you just take on it. And I was myself being hard on me because I've always wanted to achieve, achieve, achieve. Shri is my husband, always there to support me. But he was raised in an Indian household family. An Indian man don't generally like to do household work. It's a female's duty, even if
Yeah.
you're a doctor or if you're whatever. And when I shared that with my in-laws, I remember my mother-in-law sharing. My grandmother-in-law was a doctor, and she shared a story with me that your grandmother-in-law was a doctor and she's done it. So you just have to do it. And I was thinking, And I also developed
That's
a chronic
wonderful.
health condition because on the face of the earth, because I had married on my own, I had to prove it,
That.
and I couldn't be saying that I'm losing it. So, there's a saying in India, tamacha maar ke bhi muh lal rakhna hai. So you take your own pain, but you don't show the world. And yeah, my marriage is beautiful, but no, I have put in more to make it beautiful. Of course, Shri has put in as well a lot, and we've grown together. That's why we're still together after 33 years. But we couldn't have children. And not having a child in Indian family is a biggest curse. And so many times I was told, what's less? Let me take you to this sadhu. Let me take you to this who will make you pregnant. How? And things like
There's one
this.
apple which makes you pregnant in some villages.
And that's made me kind of realize that there's so much of things we just take in invisibly, and we kind of share. And over the years I've learned the biggest treasure we have is our girlfriends, is our female
Yes.
friends. And I rely on them tremendously. I work on the same group as a psychiatrist, as a volunteer for people with who have been victims of domestic violence. I also work for
No,
victim
ma'am.
support.
Survivors, please
Yeah.
change the term. I tell
Very much.
everybody to change the term.
I am so happy that you are there to correct me. So thank you. And we get into this professional language, but that lingo isn't really good. So thank you for doing that.
No, but for
And
professionals, like everybody I tell, like the victims are the people who do the violence, not us.
and the
And
survivors, yeah, very
domestic
much.
violence is the all, and domestic violence is the only crime where the survivor, like though people call victim, is on trial. Abuser is not asked a single question.
And then started working with these cases, and the cases I've seen have made me feel so ashamed to be a human being. I saw a professional couple where the woman was chained to the balcony rail when the men would go to work,
Oh
and when
my
he would
God.
come back in the evening, this happened in London. When he would come back in the evening, he would open the chain, and that made me like just feel. And then I worked with her, and I'm so proud to say that she got out of that marriage, and she's happily married to another man with two daughters in another country and living a happy life. So she fought from that abuse, and she's a survivor, true survivor, and has won. So having worked with those have given me so much of courage in my life to fight all the time. But I believe in three important things: is develop the resilience by forgiving, have compassion, and have equanimity. More equanimous you remain, you're able to judge better, you're able to do things better. And I practice Vipassana meditation, which gives me, of course, there are moments I lose it and you bring it back, and you lose it and you bring it back. And there are so many times when I see a very sad case, especially when a child has been abused or women have been abused like an animal, I come back with so much of sadness. And you again have to fight back and come up. So
So
that's my
that
personal
feeling
story.
of
You
Also,
said
because
something, Dr. Anita.
because you hear all these stories, you have to be emotionally very strong to process everything and not let it affect your day to day. And
we all are human beings. So we also need some outlet,
yeah,
and that is the friends, strength
yeah,
of female friendship.
And
And
girlfriends are your treasure. Never
yes,
yes,
leave them and have them all the time. I and I have girlfriends in all time zones. You pick up a phone and you talk to them, and that's the treasure of them. That's the secret of my life, my girlfriends.
to have one in Rajasthan.
Great.
yeah.
So, like I have written a poem that is Behan Code. I will recite it later. That is strength of the female friendships.
Amazing.
So and yeah, I would like to ask. Like, I will like, to just add one thing that I am amazed to hear about that the lady being changed, especially in London. But like in my hometown, my dad and Dr. Dhanesh Gupta, my dad is also psychiatrist, Dr. Sidhana, and Dr. Dhanesh Gupta from Singapore, he's a psychiatrist. He's from a village near my hometown, that is Sangria. So he comes every month from Singapore, and they have unchained 120 people who are chained like animals, like they had to call the mechanic to break the law.
Wow, wow.
He has changed around 120, unchained 120 people, and now they are on treatment, free treatment and all. And Dr. Dhanesh, that is Mukti Foundation and Nishkam
Yes,
Foundation.
I'm
And
aware of that. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Mukti program. So my dad and Dr. Dhanesh Gupta did that. And I'm amazed to
Wonderful.
hear about the London incident.
I was
And now,
shocked to see that.
yeah, I would
Very
like to
shocking.
share all the things. Yeah, I will share with you the Mukti program and all. And
Yeah, I'm
Lady
aware of the
Swinton,
Mukti program, and it's quite. In fact, there is a colleague who went to do voluntary work over there, and they worked with all the Prabhus. They call patients as Prabhu, and they look
yes,
after them
I have been
amazingly.
there. I go there for camp every Sunday, monthly.
Very good.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah. But which colleague I would like to know? Like,
I'll share the details to you in chat.
so okay, so I would like to ask now first Lady Swinton because she is carrying the maximum responsibility. And
Yes.
she's a stateswoman carrying the leadership and still managing all the roles. And I feel I really want to apologize. First of all, in this episode, I didn't do anything at all. She has done all the labor. I didn't even see the bios like I saw it today because actually one of my friends committed suicide. So that was also a very psychiatrist she was because
Sorry.
of domestic violence. Yeah, so that was like very and another thing because of the convention there was a talk and So I am felt really very bad that I did help, but she has done a wonderful job at by still managing all the tribal matters. She has been into the Jena Declaration, into the World Bank meetings, into World Economic Forum and UN. Then how do you carry your invisible load? Because I have seen her always smiling and always giving, and the kindness. Like I'm blessed that she and Grand Chief, they make me, I feel like I don't believe still that how they, I feel like a daughter, like to them. And I don't know how that connection got made. And even Grand Chief, like, I have never spoken, but the messages, and they both have been a very important part of my healing journey. And I don't know how I got connected. It's just like society slaps before it claps. So maybe that's the blessing now God is giving. So I am really grateful to her. But I would like to ask that she even handles a daughter, like early morning she gets, like, so routine life she does, plus the stateswoman duties and all the things she's doing. So how do you carry the invisible load?
I never really sat back and thought about how I carry the invisible load because it's just something that
Because you have been doing for everyone and never
yeah,
thought for yourself.
I've been
Yeah.
So
doing.
now you have to think for yourself first.
Yeah, it's normal thing. I try to have a routine, but in my life and having two kids and a household, it's physically impossible to keep a routine.
But
That is
if I can come in, if you just said that routine and having some me time in that routine is again very invaluable. That me time, what Jazz also is saying, that me time by massage or something is amazingly invaluable tip which we could give it to people to bear this invisible load.
And how do you get so much energy to do all the work and everything? How do you manage? We want to
A
hear your story.
lot of coffee.
We women always need a good coffee and a nice chat with one of our girlfriends, and we're ready.
I live
Yeah.
on a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Both my kids, they love to help out with my work. So I have the
You're
help.
very blessed.
I also have the supportive grand chief, so I'm not taking on everything by myself.
But still you are always doing everything, yeah. And doing all the things also. She's taking care of her children so beautifully that Sunday, like if she has to take them for a movie for early morning or whatever time, she does that. And even I remember we have done a podcast at night, 1 a.m. one also. Like she is like so dedicated. So I really wanted to know like
I
how she's managing everything. And in all the WhatsApp groups also, she has been very supportive for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She takes a stand everywhere whenever there have been a difficult time. And I'm grateful to them. And they even wrote a cover story for my dad, Grand Chief. And he, so I really wanted to know your story, like how you are managing and your hobbies. What do you like? How did you think of starting this podcast? And what do you think about mental health advocacy? Because you are the one who is going to bring the real change when being the policymaker.
Well, I will take it back to my daughter and my stepson's circle of friends. We're just listening to, well, I'll take it with my stepson because he's 20. For some reason, I have tacked on like I'm like a second mom to his friends. They come over and they feel comfortable to where they can sit down and they can share what they're going through or any issues they're having with myself and as well as with my husband, the Grand Chief. And I love it. We've always made sure that our home is a place of comfort where you can come, you can relax, take off your shoes. We'll leave you alone, or if you want us to hang around you, we'll hang around you. But most times, if you're over, you're here to hang out with, my stepson. So you're downstairs, we're gonna go upstairs. I may come down every once in a while, just say, you guys want something to drink? Are you hungry? I'm cooking dinner. Would you like some? That's how that one goes. So it's just more of making sure that we're just, we welcome everyone. We have open arms. We don't judge. We're definitely a household of non-judgment. But we also, sit back and we take a step back and go, okay, we were once this age. Once 20
She
years
cooks
old.
also. Everything she does, cooks like a grand cheese. She cooks. So
So
and still
that's,
grounded, so grounded. You can't believe. Like
So
that's
whenever I come over to New York, I'll be popping by your house
absolutely.
for the
There's always
food. For the
coffee.
food.
There's always coffee. We have, like,
no,
Not
coffee,
food
coffee,
is
for the food.
something very nice. Yeah.
So what
Um.
you described was non-judgmental, open household. and giving enough space to every age
Yeah, a
group.
safe
And that's
space.
what is so beautiful, the safe space.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
And the strength from your children, because they are your energy.
they are.
Yeah.
I mean, my childhood was very, I sit here and I go, oh, I had a great childhood. But then, looking back, it's like, well, did I? I
Mm.
did. I never wanted for anything. There was never anything that I wanted for. I am the youngest of two boys, but I felt like I was, being African and also indigenous, my family was very hard at times. They had things that they wanted me to do, mainly because I was a girl, also because I'm tall. I'm 6 feet tall. So, of course, growing up, I did play sports. But of course, the sports that I got into, which was golf, it was like almost shunned upon, except by my grandfather. He was actually excited.
Oh.
The rest of my family, they expected me to be a basketball or volleyball player, which I tried. It wasn't something that I enjoyed. They also expected me to become this amazing track star because of my height, and I ran track. I'm like, oh, this is fun, but it wasn't me. I felt like my whole childhood and even into my adulthood, I was doing things to please my family. I have to do this to make them happy. I have to become this person, or I have to have this type of job or do this to make them happy. And then what really helped was me meeting my husband, the Grand Chief, and him pushing me, saying, why are you doing this? Like, you're not happy doing this. You need to do what makes you happy. And I had to sit back and go, well, what makes me happy? I don't even know what makes me happy, because I never took the time to do for me. I was always doing for everybody else. And I mean, even now, I do for everybody else, but I have kids. So, in my head, it's, well, we can't be selfish. You have little ones that rely on you, that depend on you for life and guidance and advice. I can't be selfish. So that's really what took the toll. And then, of course, I sit back and I look at my kids and I go, okay, I grew up with my grandparents. Unfortunately, my mother was around, but not really. That's for another thing. But I sit and I look at, especially my daughter. I look at my daughter and I go, okay, I don't want to be like my grandparents. I definitely don't want to be like my mother. I want to see her blossom and grow, and I want to see her personality shine. And there are times where I catch myself, and especially her. She has no problem telling me, like, Mom, we're not doing this today.
Be friends with you. Yeah, she is like a friend with you. Like, anyways, I only feel so much warmth with her that I like, no, it's unbelievable. Like, literally.
Yeah,
When
well,
I,
yes, Dr. Ananda. I've been on the phone with Dr. Ananda, and she's heard my daughter in the background going, Mommy, are you done on the phone?
I have heard a lot about her, and even like
Can I
16
read?
months for her birthday and movie once you took her, yeah. But I really, yeah, and what made you start this podcast and also to connect with me? That is one curiosity I have.
Connecting with trying to think how we connected was Grand Chief. You connected with Grand Chief.
No, 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 Grand Chief connected with me.
Grand Chief connected with you, and I don't know. I
That
don't
was
know
like, I
how
was
it's.
very surprised that, oh my God.
It's just the podcast. Me starting the podcast. I always wanted to do something to where I could bring people on a platform where they can pretty much talk about themselves and their life experiences and what they've gone through and how they've grown. And mainly for me to learn. I have yet to travel the world. So I figured if I can do a podcast to where I'm meeting people from different countries, I'm traveling the world just virtually.
Not
Beautiful.
virtually, really,
Yes.
we welcome you to India. Come soon.
So it's that's how it started. And then Dr. Ananda meeting you and hearing your story and me sitting back and going, this is a real issue that's not talked about. It's
Yes.
not. Mental health was a topic that people push to the side. Like, I know me as a kid, if I had an issue or I was going through something and I would run to my grandma and go, I'm feeling, this way, it was, oh, you're fine. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Why we're not talking about that. We're not doing that. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Everyone says this, that women are dramatic. And whenever
Yes.
women complain,
Oh, you're
it's
being
dramatic
dramatic. You're
because of like hormones, mental health.
you're
Nobody.
being you're being over dramatic. It's not that big of a deal. Let it
Yeah.
go. Blah 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 blah.
Yes. It will get normalized.
Yeah.
But like,
So,
I am
growing up,
really,
I
really
just
like,
took it as a whatever issues I'm having, that's life. Suck it up. Put a smile on your face. Put it in a bubble and blow it away. Or as Elsa says, let it go.
But that is what, no, it was created, that this world was created by man. And men have made that thing that this is what females should do.
Yeah.
And why should female do that? And I think even males needs to be be expressive. Men can't cry. Why can't they cry? And why
Ma-
is gender role? Why is
They're
the
also
gender?
telling you about my dream. The grand chief will fulfill one day, I'm sure. That every podcast ending I say I want to see men can cry on the Burj Khalifa to Times Square to London Bridge to India Gate to Gateway of India and the Eiffel Tower. Then the society will change.
And it's changing though.
It is
Yes.
And I'm
changing.
mental health committee this year for Indian Psychiatric Society. The first time it has been made. It was
Yeah.
very difficult to make them understand. Even psychiatrists were not able to understand. Then I told like we cannot spell mental health without men.
Hmm.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
very difficult. I made a policy paper then, and finally it has been made.
I mean, I always say a small change is still a change.
Exactly.
So, women like
And
you,
of course,
lady, who are doing this amazing work, raising awareness, talking about it, and somewhere in the world, a small change is happening, and we just have to keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully, in the next generation, there'll be a massive change. But it has to start with a seed, and maybe we are the seed for our daughters, our granddaughters, and hope and pray for the best, and hopefully things do change slowly, slowly.
so every generation has a woman in their bloodline who
You
breaks
break the
generation
cycle.
trauma,
Yeah.
and we are the one.
Yeah.
Shattering.
So, but yeah, I would like to just add that I have had a very, very beautiful childhood, and till my marriage, like I never thought that gender equality is an issue also.
Yeah.
I was amazed at that, and I was amazed that gender-based violence happens in reality also. I thought it is only in movies. And the most beautiful, and we knew about empathy, compassion, mental health, depression, tension, but we didn't know about typhoid. And for
Yeah.
us, the only thing was mental health. And my father is like my father, mother, they are only about like mental health. And for them, I used to say, like, for you, the religion is religion, caste, and everything is only psychiatry, neurology, or neurosurgery. So we have been brought up in that this thing. So my sister is a child psychiatrist. My mother is also a psychiatrist, and my father is also.
See, it's funny you say that because it's the same like with my childhood as well. That they actually appreciate girls more than they do with the boys. And when I got married because I got married twice as well, same as you, Dr. Nanda. So they like even in my first marriage, they were more gender perspective that we want boys, we don't want girls. And then when I got married, and then when I got married second time, they were exactly the same. But when my childhood was like completely different, that if it's a firstborn girl, they're like, oh my god, it's a princess in the house, we need to
Yeah,
cherish
same
her.
here.
You know,
For us, and even all the girls are highly educated, all cousins. Even if boys don't study, they run the shops. But every girl is either a doctor or a CA or like everybody. They all are highly educated. Even my 3-year-old niece, my sister's daughter, she comes and says, "Please change my school because I want to study in a good school. I want to be a neurosurgeon."
I think in
Yes.
general,
Yeah,
I
your
think
dad.
in
Yeah,
yeah, I think in general, men are just really jealous because girls are angels, and the feminine energy is so powerful, and how they
yeah.
break cycles, how they build homes, how they build families. Women are in general magical human beings, and I think men are just jealous and they just want to control women because, to be honest, they don't have that power.
I would like to
No,
say some men, not all.
I do believe if you look around the statistics around the world, what's happening with sexual violence, controlling women, I think at least 60% of men are not good men.
see, it's funny you say that
I
because
sorry.
that from my dad's side family, like I'm saying, all of us, when I say all of us, we are all first girl borns, and then after that was boy or whatever came, but all the firstborns have all been girls. And from my dad, I mean, I remember when my mom was expecting, my mom tells me this story and she goes, me and your dad had a fight, and what do you want first? And he goes, I want a girl first. Anything comes after, I don't really care, but I want a princess in this house. And, she's going to be my treasure. She's going to be my world. And and another thing was because I had my dad's brothers come from Africa. and the way they cherished me is like I was literally like a parcel to every single household. They were just literally wanted to have a go around. So I think the generation now is completely different, what we expect. And I never used to hear that men are not allowed to cry or anything like that, because it was quite new to me when I got married into both of my marriages, and they're like, yeah, men don't cry. And I'm like, that's weird. I've never heard that before.
Men do cry, they just don't
There is
cry.
surprise. Men, of course, feelings don't have any gender.
Yeah,
They
we
don't
don't have
show
gender perspective.
emotion because men are, they're supposed to be tough. They're supposed to be strong. They're our
So
protectors. They're
it is
if
a
they can't,
stoicism.
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
meant to
strong.
be, they show them a spider and they run a mile.
No, but I always say nowadays that
Shall we
that is
share?
a thought.
Princesses these days, they're princesses. You show them a spider, you tell them to fix a tap, they can't do it. You tell them, oh, can you do this, do that? They're like, yeah, I'm just going down the road. Or can I, you ask them for a lift, they're like, oh, I'll call you an Uber. This is what I found within my friends, because obviously I'm not with anybody, but what my friends tell me, most men are princesses. They want you to chase them, to do this for them, that for them. They're like, no, they're all princesses nowadays.
No, but I would like to just, I differ in that because I believe that men suffer much more than women because they don't talk, they don't express the emotions at all. At least we go to the kitty parties and bitch about whatever is happening in the house. They don't. They
And
just talk with.
as a society, we need to change this, and we
Yes,
need to make sure we both are able to express.
and of course, it's like
Let them
it's
express.
not a fight between men and women. It's a battle against the patriarchy, not the men and women. And mental health is important for the third gender also. Everybody is
Everybody,
important.
very true.
But do you not think most of the men are in charge of the patriarchy?
You know
Many women
something?
are also there who are
Hmm.
toxic bosses. And
Many
always
women's are the
there is a first in women is a narcissistic enabler, biggest enabler of a narcissist son. Because that Raja Beta syndrome is there. And also domestic violence is in most cases is instigated by a mother-in-law.
You mean as in the mother-in-law abuse?
and
So
we need to make sure we teach girls and boys equally,
Yeah.
girls to respect and boys to respect, and society is doing that, and things are
A lot of
yeah,
the boys,
I just think it's not equality, it is mutuality it can be because biologically we are different. So I still believe that caregiving role girls can do much better than a man, and we should
totally
not
agree.
expect that a child should be taken care of in-laws also because we are not that financially in India. I say that I cannot go and buy a plot or a property, or I cannot take care of the shares and all, but I can take care of a child. But similarly, a man also has lots of things going on.
is
So
it
I'll
illegal?
beg to differ with you on that. I think each and every female needs to be financially independent,
Yes.
needs to
Yes, they
learn
need
how
to
to
be
manage finances, and needs to know how to protect themselves financially. Financial independence is
literacy is very
extremely
important.
important.
But that is like equality is important. Like celebrate each other's wins and
Yeah.
trust and the mutual trust and respect. That
Very
is the
true.
thing. Because even men are suffering a lot because of false use of the 498 section.
Very true.
These are the
Thank you very much.
conversations I enjoy hearing because all the cultures are very different, especially here
Yeah.
in different countries. Because over here in America, it's, most families are raised to where men and women share the responsibility.
Yeah.
Men and women cook, men and women clean, do the laundry, all that good stuff, make a home. They're a team.
Yeah.
So it's definitely eye-opening to hear what is going on globally. And it makes everyone, including myself, sit back and almost sit here and say, we're kind of spoiled compared to what we
Mm.
have, compared to what others don't have or what they can and cannot do.
Yeah.
So in other countries as well, in metropolitan cities and in educated family, that role is still there. But in some countries like India, we have the labor quite easily available,
Yes.
and it's kind of taken for granted that female will look after that labor and they will get the help and they will sort it out. But no, many men are now there are house husbands as well. Things are changing.
Yes, things are
And
changing
there are
very fast.
more gender
Especially
equality
COVID
is
has
happening.
changed that. Work from home changed it. And another thing I just said, like men were supposed to go to the war at stoicism time. They were supposed to be strong. And now if we say we are equal, then why do we need protection? And nowadays, so anyway, the man comes back home to the war. That is the main battleground for him. Are you going to be with the mother-in-law or
Again, thank you so much for sharing your perspective and your life experience.
last? I would like to have just one message. What would you like to leave everybody, like including Lady Swinton, starting from you, for everyone who is hearing the podcast?
Just take back the knowledge and know that, there are people out there that are struggling. Check on your friends, whether they're male or female. Just check on your friends, make sure they're okay, because of course we don't know what is going on with them mentally,
I mean, you
internally.
used to do this when you was a baby.
We have a lot of people that they put on the facade of everything is okay and it's not. So I just say, just check on your friends.
So my last message is that you don't have to disappear inside your responsibilities to prove that you are strong. You can love others and still choose yourself. You can be ambitious, but still you should rest. You can be strong, but still ask for help. And because caring for others should never require abandoning yourself. So yes, and today is Independence Day. So I would say that we get freedom from within, not from outside. Get
Wonderful.
freedom from your anger, from your ego, and from let go yourself. So yes, that's my message.
This should be the quote card of the today's podcast.
Sure, definitely. I'll share you.
And Jazz, now, what is the takeaway message?
I would say the takeaway.
And not the massage.
Not the massage. I would turn around and say that we should respect our young children and listen to them because their voices matter the most. I know sometimes we take them for granted and they can go blah in your ear, but at the same time, they have got a lot of knowledge that we don't have. Because I would turn around and say, from when she was 6 months old till now, we've grown together. We have shared a massive good laughs, sad cries, and everything. So I would definitely say that our children are our next inspiration and they give us so much love, encouragement, sometimes even free cuddles. You don't need to ask that from next door neighbor or from your husband. It's true, isn't it, Caitlin? We don't need to ask that from our husbands or boyfriends, and when they come around the corner, like, Mom, can I get that cuddle? Can I get a huggle? And you're like, yeah, go on. You know what? I'm not going to get it elsewhere. So, we should cherish that. And it's beautiful thing to have around us, especially. And I know, and I'm speaking from not from as a parent, but I'm talking as from a coach, because we don't really hear our children and they are our zen. We need to listen to them. Thank
And
you.
Rezna,
I'd just like to say that if anybody knows somebody who's going through an abusive relationship, it can be very annoying, sometimes very frustrating, very sad when you see somebody suffering like that and you just want them to sort themselves out. Just don't give up on that person, please. Check on them. You might be the only person they're talking to, trusting you. Just check on them, give them the support. And I do believe until the person is ready to leave, they're not going to leave. They're not going to have the strength and courage to leave and start on their healing journey. So, yeah, I mean, as sad as it is, and we want to just pull them away, we can't do that. We just have to support them, check on them, and just be there for that person and pray, and hopefully they will figure it out one day and make the move.
Now, Dr. Minna, I would love to hear your closing.
I would say it's really important to have compassion towards you and to others. Forgive yourself and forgive others, because when you forgive yourself and others, you're going to move on. And as many of you have said, check on your friends. And as I've already said, your girlfriends are your treasure. Value them and be for each other. So thank you. And thank you for
thank you.
letting me be part of it.
My last message, I have my goal now: catch flights, not feelings. I have written a poem. Then I have a poem on Behen code. I have written poems on too many things, like but I would like to about friendship. I can say, yeah. And one thing I have seen, that loneliness is the biggest killer. So I have developed a framework that it's not the loneliness, it's the fear of not mattering, which is the more important, because everybody thinks if I disappear from Facebook today, what will happen? Will anybody call me? So that is the fear. Loneliness is not there nowadays. The more important is fear of not mattering. So make everybody feel recognized. And even So I would like to recite a small poem I can recite. I have written a poem on healing power of pen and even on the power of friendship. So you can, and even unshackling psychiatry, which is my main goal in life. And okay, this year the conference theme was unshackling psychiatry. So for me, the psychiatry, it is about moving beyond the clinic to take it from outside to the classes, to the corporate, to the stadium, to the glamorous world. From diagnosing and labeling to understanding. From fixing the broken to fueling the purpose. From hiding the pain to naming the feelings. And from patient files to human stories. From struggling and exclusion to healing in spotlight. From couch of therapy room to the cloud and Microsoft, because nowadays all the apps are there. And from walls of the clinic to limitless technology, from local to global, from margins to the center, and from illness to wellness, institutional care to the community care, and from changing landscape to the community care, and from wisdom of old to give wings to the young generation, and lastly, from being a doctor to being human. That is about what the medical health should.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
We all embrace the colors of northern lights. We spend so much of money. We embrace the colors of rainbow. Then why can't we embrace the colors of human mind, depression, anxiety, stress, schizophrenia, and the colors of human sexuality, LGBTQ? So embrace them instead of. So that is my code. That is Aurora Mind.
Thank you again, ladies,
Thank
for
you so much.
time to share your valuable input on today's episode. We will be in touch. This is going to conclude episode 3 of the Inner Kingdom series. I am
Thank you.
Swinton with my co-host, Dr. Aninda Sidhana. It was a pleasure having Dr. Mina, Prerna Vaswani, and Jazz, as well as Rezna, on today's episode.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Good night. Take care.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.